I'm glad it worked. Okay, for anybody that's still here, we are talking about my 12-week mentoring group for occupational therapists and OTAs that is relaunching tomorrow. It's been open to the waitlist for the last, I don't know, since yesterday morning, 30 hours, and we have 9 therapists who have joined so far. And Julia participated in the last cohort that started in April. And every time I launch, I try to talk to one of the therapists that have recently completed the program because I think that, I can share so much about what I am offering and what is included in the program, but I think it's so nice to actually talk to somebody who has been through it all. So Julia, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of your history as an OT, what you do?
Sure. So for anyone watching, my name's Julia. I am an OT in Providence, Rhode Island, and I've been working in EI for maybe 2.5 to 3 years now. So EI is birth to 3 in the natural environment of the child.
I love EI. It's where I started out too. I started in Chicago. I did my first 2.5 years in EI. It can be fun. It can be a lot of fun. You're with the parents, you're in the home, you're starting to work with the babies, but I know it can also be very isolating.
Yes, for sure. And that's probably my number one complaint about EI is it gets a little lonely, but it's been a really good challenge for me as a new grad.
I'm sure. And I feel like you're a go-getter. Like, I feel like you are very much like, I want to learn more, I want to know more.
Yeah,
and so I'm
absolutely. I take
sure.
every class that I can.
What made you, obviously the mentorship, but what made you decide to join our program?
Well, I had a mentor, but unfortunately she left the agency, and then it was kind of the middle of COVID, so finding a replacement for her was really hard. So she was still never replaced, so I've been kind of like on my own since.
Yeah.
And I was really, really looking for mentorship. But a lot of like OTs in the field are so busy with their own caseloads. So then when you popped up on my feed, I was like, this is what she does for a living. Like, this is like, she is fully dedicated to just mentoring. So I decided to take a chance.
I mean, and that's one of the biggest reasons why I started this program. Like, I was working for a company and they did have mentorship, but it was 30 minutes a week. Not every therapist got it.
Yeah.
And I saw like the struggle. Like, I was so lucky. Like in EI, I mentioned that I did that first. I had great mentorship. I was so lucky because the owner of the company valued the mentorship piece and the therapist growth piece so heavily that we had like an hour each week plus a like individual plus like I think it was every other week or maybe every week. I think it was every other week. Or maybe once a month. It's been a while. Group like session where we all came and brought like our cases, asked questions, did some education. But I feel like now it's so hard because COVID happened and there are less therapists working for big companies because a lot of people were like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Right.
Demands, not just through COVID because it happened prior to COVID, but the demands of our caseload are so high.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. And when I was in EI, I was doing like 28 to 30, but I know lots of people in the clinic do 35. That means you don't have any time besides lunch and you're working during your lunch.
Yeah.
But your caseload numbers are so high and you just don't have the like general support and the population, like the coworker population to ask questions to.
Right. Whereas if I was in a clinic, I would be able to lean more on other providers, but I found ways to get around it. I do a lot of like coordinating with my team members but this group has been huge for me. This like having this cohort. And like a couple of us have actually reached out to each other outside of the cohort to just talk one-on-one, which is awesome. So I feel like I found like my community.
Yeah. And I love that. Like your cohort was a little bit smaller and like all of you, you know, in the group, you're always going to find some people who maybe are like a little bit more reserved, who are more of the observer. That's totally me too.
Not our group.
Not your group. Your group was so special in that you guys all immediately were like, let's share, let's get deep, and like, let's connect.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love it. And I love that you are connected outside of the group. Like, to me, the community piece is so important. Like, it's not, sorry, I feel like you were going to say something.
No, keep going. You're on a
It's not,
roll.
just keep going. You know, I feel like people join the mentorship program for a mentor, like, and I'm leading the group and I'm offering suggestions, but it's not just my brain. Like, you guys are all so valuable and so knowledgeable and bring different experiences, bring different education,
Right.
and bring different strategies. Like, I might go off on a tangent, like in this direction, but then you guys are like, wait, what about this? Like,
Yeah.
it's the community aspect is just so powerful.
And I'm building so many connections within my own brain. Like, you know, having fresh eyes on your cases is so valuable because sometimes I've been sitting with a case for months and I just don't know which direction to go. And then I bring it to group and we go in 10 different directions that I can choose. So I love that as well.
It's so nice. It's like you're no longer stuck.
Right.
Like, we might not be in the session with you, but we're like, okay, here's this, here's this, here's that. We're all just like,
I can hear you in the back of my head. I'm like, what did Katie say?
What would they do? What would everyone say? So I know you loved that piece to it, and this may be your favorite thing from the group, but what was your favorite part of the group? It could be a session topic, it could be something that was offered, whatever.
Yeah. So one of the sessions that we did was, I think it was just called treatment ideas. I loved it because I use, you know, scooter boards and pom-poms all the time, but once again, we had 10 different ways to use each of those things. So like it just broadened my toolbox, you know, like I was like, okay, I could do this. Like I had a whole, and you gave us handouts too with ideas, which was awesome. And I also feel like learning more about the equipment was helpful too, because a lot of us were in clinics and then some of us, like in EI, you gave us options that we could do at home, like blanket swings, lycra swings. So that was super helpful too.
Yeah, the treatment session is really fun. It is like right after our 2 weeks on sensory processing. And so we have two from like the very first session. I've kind of changed things. And so now we have two treatment sections. And one is more of the sensory processing piece with like the equipment that we can use, what we can focus on in terms of tools and equipment. And like, you know, this group is not just for clinic-based therapists. And so yes, I'm giving, you know, the clinic therapist information, but home-based and school-based, like you're also getting strategies. Yeah. But I started doing it a few cohorts ago, and like the brainstorming of a piece of equipment or like puzzles, squids, anything. Like
so fun.
It's so fun because we all have ideas. And for me, like I know I learn by watching other therapists and like picking up on what they're doing or watching kids. And just being able to say, like, here are the things that I do with squigs and make a big list and then, like, get to go with it.
I think ours was straws.
Yeah.
And so. Like, it's like someone who does a lot of feeding, like, that was so fun and so helpful. And, like, now my brain, like, I feel like I have such a better, more dynamic understanding of like how to use these tools too. Like I used to like, you know, okay, straws for feeding therapy, but now I know how to apply straws to any ADL. And I could also message you guys and be like, all right, I'm stumped. Like I need to get this kid on straws. Like I've tried this, and this. And then you guys have 10 other things for me. So I do love brainstorming with everybody.
It's pretty special. And for those that are just like learning about the mentorship program, you mentioned the ability to like message us. So throughout your 12 weeks, and then after the 12 weeks, you're actually invited to do 2 months in the collaborative, which is a collection of other therapists who have graduated from the program. And so like we have a private community board that you can post questions on, everybody is welcome and encouraged to answer.
Mm-hmm.
Just again, the community piece, the getting multiple ideas piece, like you
Right.
don't have to do it on your
Right.
own.
And it's like it is like you are investing in mentorship, but you're also investing in yourself. Like this is not just a short-term program. Like I've been doing this for months now, and I just continue to grow. Like I'm investing in myself as a therapist, like as a provider, and I think that's a really important step to take for new grads. Like, yes, you can do this. You deserve to do this. Like, and also your participation is valuable. So I just really liked like feeling like I was doing something to be a better provider too.
Right. Like we don't have to just say like, okay, we don't get mentorship. Like, let's live with it. Let's deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Oh, sorry. I see there's a wait list to sign up on your website. Is that how I sign up for the Sunday sessions? So technically, enrollment starts tomorrow. It's currently open for the wait list, but I will say I did go on there on my website and open it up early. So if you are on there, you should see tabs to sign up for either Sunday or Wednesday. There's two sessions, Sunday at 6:30 Eastern p.m. And Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. They both should be open. We have 4 and 5 therapists in each one right now. But I'll message you after this. I'll look on the website to see what's happening. And if it's not working, I'll message you to the person who, pricey, to the person who just messaged me. Um, yeah, I think that just being proactive, it's so easy to just sit and be like, okay, I'm not getting something.
Right.
And I totally understand when we're first starting. Oh, yes, then go check today because I just did it like 2 hours ago. Sorry, responding to a message. I feel like it's so easy to just say like, okay, fine, like I'm gonna be unhappy, but
Yeah.
this is what it is. When there are other options out there, and it hasn't always been that case. Like when
Yeah.
I graduated, this wasn't a thing. Like you couldn't get a virtual mentor.
Right.
Like if you got it, you got it. If you didn't, you didn't. And I specifically chose a job that I got it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like being able to do this, like yes, we have to be proactive to find it, but being able to take charge
Yeah.
is
Take charge
definitely.
of your, yeah, like be the best therapist you can be and try to do everything you can. Like I feel like a lot of us when we started the group, we were like, yeah, we don't have a mentor. Like we were all so like, but by the end of it, we felt like we were so empowered, and that was a really special part of this group for me. Is like I have a mentor, I have colleagues I can lean on, I have a message board, I can email her. Like I don't feel so alone anymore. Like I'm not as in despair as I was
Yeah.
before the group started.
And it's so easy to get stuck in that. Like
Yeah,
we talk about one of the sessions that we talk about is burnout.
yeah,
Like that is like a surefire way to burn out of this
yeah.
field. I was just talking to one of the girls that signed up, was talking about how, she's been a therapist for a few years and is already experiencing such significant burnout that she wants to leave.
Mm.
And she's like, I think that really what's happening is I don't have the mentorship and like the knowledge base. And so I need to start do this first before I make like a decision to just leave. And I've
Right.
talked to so many therapists that are, on the fence about leaving OT. And I think that making sure that you take care of yourself as an OT is really important, and like focus on how you can feel better about where you're at, but also like making decisions where if this isn't the best location for you, if this isn't the best position for you, where can we expand? And so I
Right.
really wanted to focus on that for one of the weeks because
Yeah.
burnout is so rampant.
Even for new grads, yeah.
We talked about this. I think like I was burnt out before I even started working. Like grad
Just from
school did not do
school,
me any
yeah.
favors.
Me too.
Um, okay, so now that you are done with the 12
Mm-hmm.
weeks, what do you think, where do you think you've grown? I know you said you feel like we're more empowered as a therapist, and that you have a bigger community, but is there anything else that you feel like you've grown in over the last 12
I
weeks?
I think creativity is probably one of the biggest ones. Like A lot of what we do in group is we present a problem and then we all try and come up with a solution. So it's really challenged the part of my brain that comes up with new ideas. And I find myself doing it at work. Like, all right, this is the problem. Like, all right, we could do this, we could do that. Like, I feel like that is so much quicker and stronger
Yeah.
now. And also my confidence, because throughout the 12 weeks, I was contributing more and more to other people's questions. So I'd be like, oh, I know this one. And now even joining the collab after, like just getting to share my own thoughts, like yes, you do know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So my confidence has really grown as well, and I can feel it. Like, and I also feel with confidence came more passion for what I do as well.
That's amazing. It's like you feel validated, like you have this information.
Right.
You're not sure if it's right or wrong.
Yeah.
And so then you're nervous about it. And
Yeah.
like, then you second guess yourself. And that's when imposter syndrome like comes
And
in.
many of us had that really, really strong, like that imposter syndrome was really hard in the beginning. And now I feel like a lot of us have grown past that already, which is
Yay.
huge.
I love that.
I know.
I love that. That's my goal, is to help you guys feel more confident, feel more empowered, like feel like you're a better therapist, feel like you're doing more for your clients in like a more effective way.
Mm-hmm.
All while being like neurodiversity affirming and strength based and
Yes.
child led and like all of my things.
Yeah. And about the neurodiversity affirming piece has been huge too. Like there's a lot of neurodiverse OTs in our group, and hearing their perspective has been incredible. Also very validating. Like it's just it's so progressive and supportive, and a lot of people have brought up like some emotional issues. So like it's not just here's the professional stuff about OT, like feeding, sleep. It's also like, how are you doing?
Yeah.
How are you as a new grad? Are you okay? Like,
Right.
so
Just
that's
let it out here.
Yes, we
And
can lean on each other.
yeah. And in a safe place, because you're not worried about like your boss at work seeing you cry,
Right.
even though I feel like we should be at a place where like emotion, like we're all expressing emotions, like we have to express them somehow, but like in a safe place where nobody's judging you.
Right.
We're here to support you and help you, and like know that that's true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can feel the love.
Awesome. Is there anything else that you wanted to share about your experience, or anything else that you wanted to say while we are chatting?
I would say to take that leap, because I was like, oh, I don't know, like I'm an EIOT and I think this is more geared toward, no, just do it. If you are a peds OT, just try it, because you will take something valuable away from it, whether it's like professional information or personal growth. Like you should do it. If you're on the fence, just go for it. It was one of the best choices I've ever made, not just for me as a therapist, but for me as a human being. Like I feel like I understand OT on a different level now. I like it a lot more than when I first started. So, and that's affected my well-being. So I would say just go for it. Just do it. Try the group. You'll love it. And then join the collab after so we can talk.
You're like, and then we can meet.
All the friends. I want all the people.
Let's collect all of our OT people.
Yeah, right? Anyone?
I love it. Thank you so much for coming on here and chatting with me today. And if anyone has any questions, you are welcome to post them here or send me a message. Not that I want to offer Julia as a person if you wanted to ask a question, but feel free to like send a message.
Yeah.
Just
go.
Here's Julia's text number. No, don't text her.
Like, community.
I feel like I'm really gathering all my OT people. Yeah, feel free to reach out. Our enrollment is actually open now, because I did do it early because I knew I would forget later tonight. We have 9 therapists that have, you're very welcome. We have 9 therapists that have already joined. I originally thought Sunday was going to be the night that sells out, and Wednesday's kind of like, they're neck and neck. Wednesdays kind of come ahead just a tiny bit. Typically, one of the days usually sells out first, and then the other one typically sells out right around the time. So enrollment will end next Thursday. So you have some time, but don't wait just in case one of the days sells
Yeah.
out. Thank you so much for joining me, and just so excited for you and your OT career and all the things.
I'm so excited too.
I love
And I can't wait
it.
for our next group.
2012, 22nd?
20,
No, today's the 13th.
22,
So definitely not. It
23.
was yesterday. That's why I had that stuck in my head.
Yeah, yeah. I'll see you soon.
All right. Have a good one.
All
Bye,
right.
everyone. Thank you for joining.
Bye. Thanks, Katie. Have a good
Thank
night.
you. Bye.
Bye.